In this video, I'll be telling you about different things you should probably bring to a model horse show. This is actually a whole video series I'm going to be doing. This will be the first part of it. But I got requested to do a video on things that I should bring to a model horse show. I'm going to start off with this then, what you should bring. First off, what anyone will probably tell you to bring at a model horse show is makeup brushes. Big fluffy kinds like these, and you want to get them brand new before they're like used or anything. And I suggest having a couple if you can, because if you're like me, rushing around constantly at the live show and you put one down and then you forget where you put it down and desperately looking for another one, it helps to have an extra one around. And what you do with these is dust the model off. I should have brought a model out here to show you, but dust the model off with the makeup brushes here to get any little dust that might be still on them. It's also good to have these littler ones to get in smaller spaces. There's like a whole bunch of different things that came in this. This was just a little makeup brush set I got like at Walmart for $5 or something like that. It doesn't really cost much and they last a long time. This set I've had since I very first started showing, which was back in 2011, so 4 years now. Still using the same one, still works great. Definitely recommend you need one of these for when you're doing model horse showing and to bring them. The next things I recommend bringing are extra index cards or show tags. Depends on what region you're in. My region, Region 2, the shows use index cards for their model horse's name and the breed and everything like that. But most other shows use the tags to put on the model horses in the show, and they don't use index cards for the breed. So whatever it is that your show region is, whatever your show's rules are, bring extras of index cards or tags or whatever it is you have to put your model's breed information on. And it is also good to have extra index cards too, just in case if you get a model at the show where you forget to bring something and you need to write down like some information about the breed or information about collectability or something on the index card. That is always helpful to have extra with you. This might more apply to if you're using index cards. I'm not sure if model horse tags, if you would need to do this at all, but for my index cards, since they're not attached to the model, and I don't pack them with the models because they'd easily get lost that way, I think. I usually put my index cards all in a little tin, and I also rubber band them together depending on their division. So like all the OF division will be rubber band together, and so that way it's easy to pull out and know exactly which one it is. And then I also do the same with all my discarded ones, because like I said, my region, the shows are different than some of the other regions, but I usually put the index cards that I'm done with. For example, like Pain Horse one I didn't place, so I just threw them into this little tin, and that way I don't lose them. They're all together, and I can use them for another show. The next I suggest is to bring a breed book if possible. You can bring the really big gigantic ones if you want to. I usually like to stick with these smaller ones. I also have another smaller one. Put it in another room though, so I forgot to bring it out here. I usually always bring at least one breed book with me. The reason for that is in case, for whatever reason, I need to show a reference for something. Like, for example, Irish Giraffe Horse. For some reason, I didn't have a reference and the judge was like, I don't know this breed. Do you have a reference for it? That way I could say, yes I do, and pull out the book and show it. And I actually did this at my last show. I have a reference for the Australian warm blood, but I forgot to bring it. And so I had to pull this out and show it to the judge. I couldn't find it or I forgot to bring it or something. So it's always handy to have these. Another thing that's handy about them is they are really, really great for if you buy a model horse at the show, or you get one or trade for one, whatever you might do, and you get like another horse to show or something. It's good to have a breed book on hand. So that way if you're trying to figure out a breed for it, you can easily flip through and see which breed to show your model horse as. I think I mentioned a couple times in this video already, if you get a new model horse at the show, for if you don't know, a lot of time there will be at least 1 or 2 people showing at a model horse show. So it's always good to bring some money if possible, in case you find a model you really want to buy. And this could be just other people showing. Sometimes there's vendors there. Peter Stone has vendored at shows before, like local horse stores. Sometimes a vendor at model horse shows. It just depends. Another thing is raffles. Most model horse shows have raffles. So it's good to bring some money so that way you can always just be like, here, I want this many tickets or whatever, and buy your raffle tickets and not have to worry about searching around for money or whatever. So I always bring my wallet and a little bit of money in case I want to buy something like raffle tickets or a model horse or whatever's there. Pins. Bring lots of them. This is one of the other things. Makeup brushes and the pins are what I most often lose. The model horse show. Or not even lose, I just misplace them. This is like a sword pin my friend gave me. So I always bring extra pins. I bring a lot of them. Like I said, the reason for this is I will write down like the placing that a horse got, set it down somewhere on the table, and then go off and do something else and forget and can't find it right away, so I have to like pull out another pin. I always definitely suggest bringing pins. Very least you need to bring one. If you can, bring a handful like this, because it's just a lot more helpful. And also, like, if the ink runs out on one, you have backups. And I don't recommend pencils as much. You can bring pencils if that's all you have on you right now. I don't really recommend pencils though, because the problem with them is they smudge easier, where they can get onto your model horses or on your fingers. It can just get messy. Pens are easier and better if you can. Another thing to bring, markers. Have to be particularly be Sharpie. Like, this isn't a Sharpie. The reason for these is touch-ups on model horses. Like on a black horse, you have a tiny little rub and you're like, oh, I need to fix that real quickly. These are really good to bring. If you can, also bring like browns and different colors if you can, that are like model horse colors. A touch-up, I really need to do that for myself. Right now I just have blacks, and this purple one is actually not for that. It's a different thing. But so I suggest bringing a Sharpie, maybe a couple if you can get like a brown one too, just for little last minute touch-ups in case your model got a little jarred when you're taking it to the show or whatever like that. I'm literally just pulling things out of my bag right now of what I normally bring, so do my best to figure out exactly why I have some things that I have. I have Post-it notes for some reason. I don't know why I bring them with me, but I do just in case I need them for whatever reason. Things like this, random things, aren't a bad idea to put in if you have the space, just because you never know what you're gonna need. I have more things here. Sticky wax is very important, and I suggest bringing it even if you aren't a performance shower. Sticky wax is mostly used for performance showing when you're putting tack on the model horses. But I also suggest just bringing it just in case for whatever reasons. So you can kind of see here I have a couple things of sticky wax, and I don't know why I have paper clips in there, but I have paper clips there too, an extra tag, just random stuff. Sometimes you never know what's going to come in handy. And like this little weird brush was for a mohair model I used to show, so if you have a model with mohair, you might want to bring like a little brush to brush their hair. If you don't know what mohair is, it's when a model horse has like real hair on it, like synthetic hairs like glued on it. That's mohair models. I already kind of said before about the tags. These are the tags I use to identify my model. Not everyone uses them in my region. Well, we use index cards, but we also sometimes not use these to help pick out a model. So if you have whatever region or whatever, you need to have tags to identify your model so that way you can pick it up faster or whatever. Bring those as well. Like I said, it kind of depends on your region. Extra bases for your models if you can, and this is just to help stand them up if you have extra bases for models that are tipsy. But if you don't have them, don't worry about it. You can always lay your models down. And I also suggest bringing a little like piece of cloth or like a pony pouch or something to lay your model on when you're laying it down on the table. I do not suggest laying a model down like on the table on the hard surface, because most of the time they're like wood or they're really hard and you don't want your model to get rubs. So usually put like a small piece of cloth or like even a piece of bubble wrap or something like that to lay your model down. So make sure you have that with you, although most of the time you'll probably have that already from wrapping materials, so you don't have to worry about that too much. Bring your camera or your video camera or whatever you're going to use to take pictures, because trust me, you're going to want to take a lot of pictures if especially if you have the time to during the show. I'm usually rushing around crazy and don't get as much time to take pictures, but always bring like a camera or something if you want to take pictures, because you will be disappointed if you forget to leave that. If you forget to bring that and you leave it at home. And also bring like extra batteries or memory cards or whatever you might need if you're planning on taking a lot of pictures. So yeah, extra batteries and a camera, video camera, whatever you want to take pictures with. Tape. Tape is good, always good. Just Scotch tape. Use it for different things. No particular exact use, but I've used it many times before. always good to have. Also, I recommend bringing like a couple extra sheets of paper in case you need to write something down, or you decide you want to sell a model at the show and you need to write its price down, whatever it may be, or you can write information down at other people selling there, or just whatever. I always bring in a couple extra pieces of paper, and scissors. I also bring like a pair of scissors as well. And I forgot to bring these out here, and I'm just lazy and don't want to go back inside and pull them out. But also bring a folder or a binder or something to put your class lists in and your reference sheets and anything like that you have. I always bring a folder because I like folders, binders, something like that, just to hold your things in. Another thing I didn't bring out to show, but tablecloth. Tablecloths, definitely you need to bring one, I suggest. Most of the time, they actually, on the shows, will recommend that you bring a tablecloth, because most of the times they don't have tablecloths with the tables. It's good to bring one. Just, you don't even have to have anything fancy. I usually just use a piece of fabric I bought at Joann's. That's purple. I like that one a lot, and they also have like little blankets, or just whatever, kind of works. The reason for that is it's softer, it won't be as hard as the table in case the model falls. It will land on something soft instead of something harder. And then lastly, it's just not gonna really fit in the camera, but I usually bring a backpack to put all this stuff in. You don't have to necessarily bring a backpack though. You can bring like a tote bag, or I've seen people use like little art bins or little like toolbox things. Just whatever works for you or that you have around that works. But just something like a bag of some sort to put all your things in, because otherwise it wouldn't be very hard, I think, to like bring all this. Just carrying it, not a good idea, and you'll lose it easily. So have some sort of box or bag, or even like a small tote or something, anything to put your stuff in for the model horse show. So I believe I covered everything that I usually bring to Model Horse Show. If you have any other questions or suggestions or anything else you want to know about live model horse shows, I will be doing more videos about them. But if you have any more things you want to know, comment below, let me know. Let me know what you think about this video. Tell me if you think I missed something really important that should be brought, because this is supposed to help people. I want to make sure I cover everything here. And subscribe if you want to know some more about model horse showing or model horses in general. My channel is a model horse channel. Look out for future videos on live model horse shows and model horse stuff.